Have you ever wondered why growing older can make you feel like you're slipping out of sight, yet somehow more exposed to harm? It's a quiet paradox. The years pile up, and suddenly the phone calls dwindle, the dinner table feels emptier, and the world seems to slow down. But in that stillness, a hidden risk emerges one nobody warns you about. Today, we're diving into a truth that's rarely spoken, but critical for anyone over 60 to hear. Your kindness, your generosity, your open heart can become a signal for those who don't deserve it, and you have the power to protect your peace without losing who you are. Let's start with a story about Margaret, a 72-year-old widow in a quiet suburb. Margaret was known for her warm laugh and homemade apple pies, always shared with neighbors. Her days were simple, tending her roses, reading detective novels, and chatting with her cat, Whiskers. Last year, a new neighbor, Brian, moved in next door. He was charming, offering to fix her fence or carry her groceries. Margaret felt noticed again, like someone cared. Over tea one afternoon, Brian mentioned he was short on cash. Could she lend him $50? Just until Friday. Margaret, not wanting to seem unkind, agreed. Then it was $100 for a phone bill. Then a story about a struggling sister. By the time Margaret realized she'd given Brian over $2,000, he'd vanished from town. Her trust, her savings, and her sense of safety were shaken. Margaret wasn't naive, she was kind. And that's exactly what made her a target. This isn't just Margaret's story. It's happening to people like you, good-hearted souls who've spent a lifetime saying yes. As we age, we don't just gain wisdom, we crave connection. Not drama, not handouts, just presence. Someone who listens, who remembers your stories, who sees you. And that longing, it can open the door to the wrong people. Take Arthur, 68, a retired electrician living alone after losing his wife to illness. Arthur loved tinkering, fixing radios, helping neighbors with wiring. One day, a distant niece, Sarah, called after years of silence. She said she was down on her luck, needed a place to stay for a bit. Arthur, valuing family, welcomed her. Weeks became months. Sarah used his car, ran up his utilities, and asked for cash to get by. When Arthur finally asked her to leave, she guilt-tripped him, saying, "You're all I've got." He felt torn. Family is everything, right? But he knew she wasn't there for love. She was there for what he could provide. Evicting her took months, and rebuilding his peace took longer. Then there's Ruth, 76, a former librarian who loved her community book club. A new member, Carla, started lingering after meetings, sharing sob stories about her life. Ruth felt honored. Someone valued her advice. But soon, Carla was asking to borrow money for emergencies or store items in Ruth's basement. Ruth, craving the connection, said yes. Then Carla asked for $1,500 to avoid eviction. Ruth hesitated but gave in, afraid to lose the friendship. Carla disappeared after getting the money, leaving Ruth feeling betrayed and foolish. Ruth learned a hard lesson. Real connection doesn't come with a cost. Those who care don't drain you, they lift you. Why does this happen? Why do older adults become targets? It's not because you're weak. It's because you're human. Years of life teach you compassion, patience, a gentler way of being. You've learned to listen, to forgive, to let small things go. But unguarded, that openness invites the wrong people. They sense your kindness and test it with small asks, a favor, a loan, a little help. They make you feel needed, like saying yes proves your goodness. But over time, Those asks drain you, emotionally, financially, or both. The silent epidemic of elder exploitation isn't just about money, it's about your time, your energy, your trust. The culprits aren't always strangers. They're neighbors, relatives, old friends who reappear when they need something. They prey on your fear of loneliness, your instinct to help, your hesitation to say no. And technology amplifies the risk. Scammers posing as bank reps, fake Medicare emails, texts tricking you into clicking links. The world moves fast, and it's easy to feel overwhelmed, like one mistake could cost you everything. But you can protect yourself, not by closing off, but by being intentional. Let's explore practical steps through stories of people who've reclaimed their peace. First, trust your gut. Take Ellen, 80, a retired nurse with a sharp sense for people. Last year, a caller claiming to be from her insurance company asked for personal details, her savings, recent medical bills. Something felt off. Ellen didn't argue. She said, "I'll call back," and verified with her insurer it was a scam. Her intuition saved her thousands. That little voice isn't fear, it's wisdom. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Listen to it. Second, say no without guilt. This is tough, especially if you're used to being the helper. Consider Walter, 75, a former carpenter who ran a small shop. His grandson, Jake, kept asking for loans. $200 here, $500 there. Walter wanted to help, but it was eating into his savings. One day, he told Jake, "I love you, but I can't keep giving money. Let's find another way to help." Jake was upset, but later came back asking for job advice. Saying no didn't break their bond, it reset it. No isn't rejection, it's clarity. It says, "My peace matters." Third, guard your space. Your home is your sanctuary, not a drop-in center. Alice, 70, used to let neighbors stop by unannounced, turning her quiet days into a parade of chatter and favors. She felt drained, but feared seeming rude. Then she set a rule: no uninvited guests. She posted a sign: "Resting, please call first." She worried people would judge her, but her true friends respected it, and the takers faded away. Your space is sacred. Protect it like your health. Fourth, be cautious with technology. Scammers target older adults, assuming you're less tech-savvy. Joan, 66, got an email that seemed from her bank, asking her to verify her account. She almost clicked, but called her daughter first, who spotted the fake sender address. Now Joan never clicks links in emails or texts. She calls her bank directly or visits in person. You don't need to be a tech wizard. Just slow down, verify, and don't let anyone rush you. Now, the emotional side. Loneliness can feel like a growing shadow as you age. You miss the chaos of a full house, the laughter of family dinners, the feeling of being needed. That ache is real, and predators can spot it. They offer just enough attention to hook you, a kind word, a shared story, a promise to visit again, but they always leave with something, and you're left emptier. This is where boundaries come in, not to isolate you, but to preserve you. Think of your energy like a garden. Every interaction is a flower or a weed. Too many weeds, and your garden fades. Pull them out, say no, set limits, choose who stays, and you make room for beauty, for peace, for people who bring joy. Building a circle that protects your peace means choosing people who respect your time, who ask how you're doing, who show up without expecting something. Maybe it's a friend from the senior center who checks on you after a doctor's visit. Maybe it's a neighbor who shares their herbs without asking for your Wi-Fi password. These are your people, not because they've been around longest, but because they value you. Sometimes boundaries are needed with family. Just because they're blood doesn't mean they get unlimited access. If they only call when they need something, guilt you into saying yes, or leave you feeling heavy, it's okay to limit them. You're not cutting them off. You're protecting your heart. Real love respects boundaries, even from family. Take Beatrice, 74, who learned this painfully. Her son, Mark, called weekly with crises, money troubles, car repairs, child care needs. Beatrice felt obligated even when it meant skipping her own appointments or dipping into savings. One day, she told Mark, "I can't fix this, but I'm here to talk." Mark didn't call for a month. Beatrice feared she'd lost him. But then he called to share a story about his kids. That boundary didn't push him away. It made their relationship honest. Saying no can feel wrong, especially after a lifetime of yes. You worry people will call you selfish or cold, but you're not selfish. You're selective. You're not cold. You're clear. You've given decades to others, raising families, building careers, caring for loved ones. These years are yours to enjoy, not to spend drained by takers. When you protect your peace, you attract the right people, those who give laughter, stories, respect. Maybe it's a new friend from a knitting group who shares your love of crafts. Maybe it's a grandchild who calls to hear your old travel tales. Maybe it's the quiet joy of your own company, savoring coffee without drama. One last story. Thomas, 81, used to feel guilty declining invitations. He'd attend family events, even when exhausted, to avoid seeming distant. Last year, he started saying no to draining gatherings. He joined a local birdwatching group, meeting people who energized him. He revived his love for photography, capturing sunsets. His daughter noticed not just his happier mood, but his spark. By choosing himself, Thomas didn't lose connection. He found deeper, truer ones. Your golden years aren't for fading away. They're for shining in ways that matter to you. You've earned the right to rest, reflect, and choose who shares your time. So ask yourself, who lifts me up? Who drains me? What's one boundary I can set to protect my peace? Maybe it's not answering the phone during dinner, asking neighbors to call first, or saying no to a request that feels off. You're not here to be anyone's ATM emotional dump.